I'm incredibly grateful that you're all here to join the first session of our PHAROS Mega Event. Today's session is all around marine protected area management. And my name is Eve Savage. I work here in Munster Technological University, and here in MTU Kerry and with our colleagues in Banshee Marine Research Station, we've put together a 3-day event under the European Horizon funded PHAROS project, which we'll introduce you to shortly. So just to give a little agenda, I suppose, of how we're going to run the morning session. I'm going to give an introduction to the blue economy here in Munster Technological University. We'll then have our colleagues from Plocan and Gran Canaria who are going to give an overview of the PHAROS project, what it's all about, all the different countries that are involved, the thematics, and it will all help to really understand why we've got this incredible agenda that's going to be rolled out over the next 3 days. The session theme this morning is around MPA management, and so we have 4 presentations from different agencies that are working in the MPA area that are going to help us to understand what's happening into the future, how we can work together, and the types of activities and who needs to be involved in making sure that the future of MPA management is a success in the Irish context. Following on from those 4 presentations, then we're going to have a little panel discussion, which will be hosted by my colleague, Dr. Julie McGuire from Banshee Marine Research Station. And then following on from that, we will have some photographs taken afterwards that we would really like everybody to be involved in. So look, thankfully we're in the coolest room in this building, because on the other side of the building, it's actually like a sauna in the different rooms. So I hope everyone is feeling comfortable here, but certainly we're conscious, that people might need drinks or a little comfort break or whatever. So we'll pay attention to that, and we'll take a short break as appropriate. Okay, so we wanted to share some of the work that we're already doing here in MTU Kerry, and not just MTU Kerry, but MTU is part of a wider group of 6 campuses across the southwest of Ireland. And we'll touch on some of the capabilities that each of those has and how they work together. But you're here with us today, and we're thrilled to be able to welcome you into this incredible new building that just opened up in September of last year. It's our new STEM building. We have incredible laboratories, classrooms, and I suppose it's amazing we've been able to now have this situated on campus. We have our main buildings over here. We have an amazing sports academy. We have business innovation centres, nursing buildings, and we've got some new pharmaceutical investment companies that have invested and built their premises here. So we're really very proud and delighted to be able to welcome you here and showcase what we have to offer. So everybody here knows what blue economy is, okay? However, all of these events are actually open to the public over the next 3 days, so we always have to be conscious of that. So of course, it's looking at the economic activities relating to our oceans, the seas and the coasts, always focusing on sustainable growth, ecosystem health and resource management. There are lots of key, I suppose, moving parts within the blue economy. Of course, we've got our coastal tourism, marine transport, aquaculture, fisheries, and the advent of offshore renewable energies, and now the advancement of marine biotechnology. They're all contributing significantly to employment to one degree or another. And we are here to kind of talk about many of these, and throughout the different sessions, we've got stakeholders that are involved and want to represent their particular organisations moving forward. 60% of Ireland's population live within 10 kilometres of the sea. It's incredible, really. Our waters are 10 times the size of our land area. And there's actually a line in a really famous Irish song, and it says, "From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town." And I think in this room today, we're actually nearly have represented all the 4 corners of Ireland. So we're incredibly grateful to have you all here. Also, tomorrow we'll actually be involved in some calls as well with other partners all the way up the north there in Killybegs as well. I just wanted to sort of call to our attention, all of those who are involved in European projects will know and understand that these words are something that we can really capitalise on moving forwards, putting Ireland on the map when it comes to engagement in European projects, whether it's Horizon, whether it's Interreg, and how we start talking about ourselves and positioning ourselves We talk about the Atlantic, we talk about the Atlantic coast, we talk about the Atlantic corridor, we talk about the Atlantic arc, we talk about the Atlantic area, and we're also talking about an Atlantic cluster in the sense of we've got amazing universities and agencies all over the country, and they're all doing incredible work. There's a little bit of fragmentation up to now, but we feel we've been working on European projects here in the Marine for quite a number of years. Meeting everybody in the different institutes is incredibly positive. I think we can certainly work together into the future to craft or be part of bigger European funding calls and really start operating and putting our skill sets together and showing, bringing what we have to offer and doing it together. I don't need to tell the people in the room here what is the strategic case for driving the blue economy and the research and innovation. So we see the policy alignment already, of course, here nationally, in our own climate action plans, in the European Blue Economy strategies, the Marine Strategy Framework Directives, and EU biodiversity strategies. It's been called out in our own smart specialisation strategy. The blue economy is listed there. Once you start getting it into public documents and policy documents, you know that there's an opportunity to progress things forwards. Obviously, we're an island nation, not just a little island stuck onto the corner of Europe. Things have been a little unfair in the Irish context with regards to the marine sector, with regards to our fisheries and aquaculture. I even hear on national radio now for the first time in the last few weeks the discussion taking place that the ordinary person or citizen in Ireland would never have heard about some of the challenges that exist. But also there are incredible opportunities that exist as well. And so sometimes if you're throwing a curveball and it throws everything up in the air, it means that government are finally paying attention, especially from an enterprise development and jobs employment perspective. Of course, it's the whole Atlantic opportunity that I just spoke about, and that we should really be considering how we use that terminology to best effect. I'm not going to list all of the agencies because we have some of these agencies already here in the room with us. But I think it is useful really to call out the different government departments that are involved, because it can sometimes appear to be a little complex to people that are working in different sectors. We've got the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine, the Department of Environment, Climate and Communications, Energy, sorry, I'm saying it wrong, who we have here representing us today. Of course, we've got the Department of Further and Higher Education, so the different universities that are represented here. We've got the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage, who will be involved in the management of MPAs, and of course there's the Department of Transport, Ports and Marine. So there's a lot of, I suppose there's a lot of agencies that are involved and they all do different things, and having this session here today to consider what MPA management is going to look like moving forwards is going to be super helpful for everybody in this room. The group that I work under is called the Circular Bioeconomy Research Group, and we work on circular bioeconomy research. There's about 35 of us, and the three themes and strands are agriculture, waste to value, and the marine. And just a little bit about the marine projects that we're involved in. So the projects that we have secured here in MTU Kerry have a value of 25 million in competitive EU funding. It's given us the opportunity to be able to know and work with 67 partner organisations across Ireland and Europe, across 12 countries. And we also have Dr. Lena McMahon here located at MTU Kerry, who is the lead for the Biorbic Marine Challenge. We have the Circular Bioeconomy Cluster Southwest, which has been in operation for many years now. It's an industry cluster, again, serving agriculture, waste to value, and the marine. We've got a large membership nationally of SMEs and larger companies that are part of that, of that industry cluster. And then, I suppose, on the community and local levels, we have a seat at the Flag Southwest. We're not removed from our citizens, from the people that we work for. I think it's a wonderful legacy of all of the technological universities, is that they always had to work incredibly closely with the communities that they were located in and work around. And so we work really closely with community groups and, as I said, with Flag, and we're delighted to be able to support that and make the actions and activities that happen here in MTU actually mean something and reflect on the ground for people. I won't go into all the projects, but it's just to give a really quick overview of some of the live projects that we're running here at the moment. So we have PHAROS, which we're delighted to have you here for this particular project. I will let the guys give the overview of the project themselves. We have Fishing, which is an inter-Atlantic area project. I've been incredibly blessed over the last 3 years to be able to bring stakeholders in the Irish context to visit, I suppose, our colleagues and counterparts in Portugal, in Brittany, and in Spain, who are, believe it or not, actually all struggling in their own ways in regards to fisheries and ecosystems management, between climate change, between changes to EU policy, etc. I think we still always got it harder here than anybody else. There's no doubt about that. But certainly, there's incredible pressures and stresses going on everywhere, and loss of heritage. Nobody entering the industry anymore. And so there's a lot of learnings and ways to work with other fisheries in other European Atlantic area regions, and it's been incredibly successful, that project. Biochains is all around developing full algal biomass value chains, and we've got an incredible session taking place tomorrow where we'll be outlining that project in more detail. We have the Smart Coast project, which was just funded last year here through MTU. When you remove some of the economic drivers in the coastal environments, you end up having to build up on your blue tourism and those types of services. But what that actually does is it creates a lot of people coming to the same place all at the same time, which also creates its own problems. So we're very lucky to be able to be involved in Smart Coast, which is all around the management of traffic and people. MarinoNet is another inter-Atlantic area project, which is all around marine biotechnology innovation. We're very lucky to have our colleague from University of Galway, Andre. We've been working with Andre and Olivier at University of Galway on MarinoNet for the last few years. It's coming to an end now. And again, in tomorrow's session, we'll be able to give a little bit more information around the outputs and all the different pilots that have been happening, some very cool projects. And then we also had a project called FanBest, which was all around technology transfer networks across the Atlantic area and trying to support startups to access investment into blue economy projects. So look, all in all, here we have Circ Bio, and my colleague Tim Yeomans is here from CABR, the Centre for Applied Biotechnology Research. And at a glance, you can see the capabilities that we have here in MCU Kerry, applied marine and bioeconomy research, very skilled in EU program design and management. We're really strong on the citizen engagement and citizen science. We've got a full suite of enterprise supports. It's been our bread and butter here in the Southwest to be able to build out enterprise and development and innovation and technology transfer, environmental data and policy evidence, and coastal governance and social innovation. So if there's any projects that people are here about, they want to work with an Irish institute, we are here. So yeah, look, I've put some of our logos here that just sort of demonstrates who MTU is. MTU Kerry is one of 6 campuses. We also have our campus in Cork. We have the National Maritime College of Ireland, and we have art college and music colleges as well, all under the MTU umbrella. We've got 18,000 learners across all of our institutes. And this is why you should be able to consider working with us. Again, applied marine research, the EU program development, immediate access to different partner institutions across Europe, and a whole host of environmental data generation, policy evidence, and enterprise development. So now that you know where you are, and we're so grateful to have you here, we're going to move into the actual PHAROS event. And so I'd really like to just give a very quick overview before we invite Pablo up. So look, it's a huge project with 24 partners across 12 countries, and it's 5 years of duration. Marine restoration, ocean literacy, and the blue economy. As you can see, the countries involved are spanning all across Europe, right across into Norway, Iceland, Greece, and the Ukraine. And the reason why I had to kind of bring this up before Pablo comes up is just to demonstrate what we've put together over the next 3 days. So here we are this morning for the MPA policy session. And following that, this afternoon, we have the Waste to Worth sessions, which is all around circular economy in action, transformation of fishing gear, transformation of waste plastics. We've got the MTU Clean Technology Centre coming to talk. We've got an incredible charity that's working with a 3D printing company here in Kerry that are going to be coming to speak to us. And we've got some best practice through other partners within the PHAROS project that are going to showcase what's happening in the Canaries, where they're doing incredible work in this particular area. So it's really amazing to be able to look at the global and then bring it right down into the local. In the evening, we will be heading off to the Maharees for the citizen engagement piece. There's a whole massive group of volunteers and citizens waiting for us out there this evening. We'll be taking a bus from MTU out there, and we also have what's called the Pint of Science event out in Spillane Bar in the Maharees, where we've got 5 incredible speakers who are going to give whistle-stop tours of the marine research that they're working on. And just to let you know, you may have noticed on the way in, we have a wonderful artist, Patrina Short, who actually works quite closely with the staff in Bantry Marine Research Station. She creates these beautiful art pieces, and she's going to be here all day to be able to like talk with us and demonstrate what she's doing. We'll quickly just talk about tomorrow. So if there's anyone wants to join, all of these are open to you. We've got 2 sessions running in the morning concurrently. One is all around blue schools, European blue schools. So we've got 25 schools coming in the morning, and we're going to be supporting them. How can they deliver blue economy education in their schools in this region? And we think that this is going to be a real, I suppose, launch pad for putting the Southwest on the map with regards to primary school and secondary school education. Simultaneously, we have an industry session, which is focusing all around, I suppose, skills development. We're looking at blue futures, blue biotechnology, fisheries, aquaculture, and blue tourism as well. And so we've got a lot of people coming from different companies that want to be part of that, and some of you will be there as well, and you're all very welcome to attend. Tomorrow, all the citizen engagement will happen out in Fenit. We're delighted to have Mary Brown and her husband Alan here today. Thank you so much. And they're going to be taking us around the incredible Fenit Harbour, showing us all the work that's going on there from a heritage perspective, conservation perspective, tourism perspective. They've incredibly passionate people and really want to share all the good and amazing things that Fenit have been doing and have achieved, especially over the last 10 to 15 years. So thank you. We're delighted to have you. Now, Thursday is down to Bantry Bay, to Dr. Julie McGuire and in the Bantry Marine Research Station, where visitors will get to see a working kelp farm. They'll understand how the PHAROS project is working with Bantry Marine Research Station on the demo site down there, and they'll be able to demonstrate the seaweed and the fish hatchery. So 3 full days, 3 exciting days, and we're so glad that the weather's playing ball with us. And so that's the overview. So now I hand over to Pablo Reche Garcia from PLOCAN, and he is project coordinator along with Gordon Dalton on this EU project. So I welcome you up to the stage. Okay.
Thank you, Eve. Thank you, everyone else attending today here in person, and also for those attending online. As if introduced me, I'm Pablo Reche. I'm the project manager of this PHAROS project. I work for PLOCAN in the Canary Islands, which is the coordinating entity of this consortium, which is made of 20 other 4 partners distributed all across the European Union, as you can see here, with presence in the mainland, but also in islands. This project, the core of this project is to demonstrate nature-based solutions in 3 demo sites, with the objective of foster the blue economy while reducing the marine pollution, and also to restore the ecosystems, habitats, and the native biodiversity. So this project is a 5-year project that started in September 2024, and it's publicly funded by the European Union through the Horizon Mission program. And as I showed you before, these are the consortium with the 24 partners. Here we are coordinating in the Canary Islands, PLOCAN, and here in Ireland we have 2 partners, Bantry Marine Research Station and Munster Technical University. So these are the key objectives of the project: to restore marine ecosystems, to reduce the marine pollution, and to foster the blue economy through these nature-based solutions that I will introduce you now. So these are the work packages and the demonstrator. There are 4 demonstrators, but in 3 demo sites, because 2 of these demonstrators are combining 1 into the Canary Islands. So this is the Gran Canaria demonstrator. It's an integrated multi-trophic aquaculture. combined with artificial reefs and macroalgae forest. So in this, I don't know if you're related to this concept of integrated multi-trophic aquaculture, but the core of this is to place around traditional finfish farm, to place some other cultivates like macroalgae to uptake the outflow of nutrients that is coming from the fish cage. The fish cage produces this this plume of byproducts in the form of organic particulated matter that dissolves into nutrients. So to reduce this outflow that could cause some other effects into the environment, like the accumulation into the seabed that could lead eventually to the low oxygen conditions and eutrophication. We place this macroalgae downstream the main current of the fish cage, so the algae can grow and thrive on the nutrients coming from the fish cage. And also we are placing some other invertebrates. In this case, there are sea cucumbers and abalone that will grow and feed straight away from the particulated organic matter that will rain down or drop from the fish cage down to the bottom. As said, we are combining this multi-trophic aquaculture with artificial reefs that will play two roles. First role is as biomimetic mooring blocks that are having a structural function, replacing traditional concrete blocks. And the second goal objective of these artificial reefs is also to provide new habitats for the native and local biodiversity. They are designed and built to meet, they're spoken to meet the local conditions, hydrodynamic and also biodiversity conditions, to be passively colonized by the local biodiversity. And suspended from vertical lines that come from these artificial reefs in the bottom, we are placing some other new and very innovative floating artificial reefs to provide more habitat in the mid water column. And on top of those vertical lines, near the subsurface, we will have macroalgae arrangements that they are mimicking like a macroalgae forest to provide even more habitat opportunities to those other species that thrive near the photic zone close to the surface. To assess the performance of this experiment that it will start next year. At this stage, we are in the phase of procurement and also getting the permits and licensing needed for the deployment and installation, not only of the aquaculture farm, but also to cultivate the different species. We are starting next year, hopefully, in May 2027. And to monitor the performance of this experiment, we'll have a whole monitoring system in both near real time with sensors transmitting live the environmental data that they are collecting, but also we'll have regular service taking water and sediment samples to see the water and sediment quality and the impact of this and the impact and benefit of this multi-trophic aquaculture into the environment. The second demonstration is happening here in Ireland in Bantry Bay and is led by our colleagues of Bantry Marine Research Station. They are already into the second trial. They are a well-established company, so they were producing for PHAROS since the very beginning. They have now completed the second trial. They harvest the results of the first trial. They were really promising. But well, to explain first, okay, in Bantry, there is this commercial salmon farm that is running upstream the fjord, the estuary, and downstream that commercial salmon farm, Bantry Marine Research Station, they have their macroalgae lines where they grow Alaria esculenta and Saccharina latissima, these two native species. So the purpose is pretty much the same as we are doing in Gran Canaria, trying to reduce and combat the marine pollution and to reduce the levels and concentrations of the nutrient outflow that is coming from the salmon farm that could have the same effects into the environment with the accumulation of carbon into the sediment and the subsequent nutrient dispersion. So the first trial in Bantry, they produced it was very productive over the average in other years. They have a second demonstration site in Roaring Water, which is a control site where there is no finfish aquaculture. There are no salmon, so the algae is growing on natural control conditions. So we can compare the effects on one upon the other. And also in Bantry, they are looking also into the biodiversity, especially in the epiphytic fauna that is growing on the blades. So we can see the effect of the salmon farm on the macroalgae biodiversity that is growing attached to the blades. And the last demonstrator, it's in Iceland, and it's different from those other two based on aquaculture. This Icelandic demonstration happening in northern Iceland in a estuarial river close to Akureyri. It's dealing with an invasive species, which is the pink salmon that in recent decades is coming to rivers all across Europe and is threatening the native species, like, for example, the native Atlantic salmon. So for this demonstrator, our partners of DTU from Denmark, then Technical University, they are placing this, if you can see up there, this innovative eDNA sampler that it works automatically without the need of anyone there to take the samples. So it takes samples automatically twice a day, and it can rerun PCR, QR analysis itself and transmitting data lively to the local servers. This eDNA sampler also takes archive samples for later analysis in the laboratory to compare and calibrate the results of the sampler. They completed the first trial last summer with a run of the adult salmon into the river, and the results were really good, as this eDNA sampler was able to detect the presence of pink salmon a few weeks before the first angling catches up the river. So it demonstrated to work. For the second trial that is happening right now in the spring this year, not with the adult salmon run, but with the fingerlings, the pink salmon spawns in the late winter. So the eggs should be hatching now in late spring. So DTU want to see the difference between the adult and the juvenile run to see what the best season could be to reduce the numbers of these invasive species, and to see what could be the effects to the native fish. So they don't want to affect much the native fish. So they will design the best strategy to reduce these foreign species and not the local ones. In this second trial, the eggs have not hatched yet. We have no results yet. But to complement the demonstrator, along with the eDNA sampler, we are placing also underwater cameras and a hydrophone. With the underwater cameras, we will see what's happening underwater. And with the hydrophone, the salmon, it's a silent species, but we will see if there is a correlation with some other predatory species that come along with the salmon run. That could be, for example, the seals. There are a couple of seal species that preys and feeds on the salmon. So if we can hear the seals, maybe that could be an early warning that the adult salmon are coming into the river. So those are the 4 demonstrations in those 3 demo sites: Gran Canaria, Ireland, and Iceland. That's the core of the project, but also it's the stakeholder engagement that we are doing through the Living Labs. Living Labs are places of co-creation between the citizens, the academia, industry, and local and regional governments and policymakers. So we are in PHAROS, we are having one living lab in every demo site, but we're also having living labs in those what we call replication sites, that there will be site in the Danube Delta, for example, Santorini, the Azores, Madeira, and Cape Verde archipelagos. In those living labs, we will apply all these five different programs of stakeholder engagement with the citizen science using the Minka platform, as we will be using later in the Maharis. MPA managers program for developing a platform to helping the MPA managers on decision making to better manage those marine protected areas. Ocean literacy with the Blue Schools. We are summing up schools, primary and secondary schools, to join the European network of European Blue Schools. And then the last two programs, the Fisher Wardens and Litter Entrepreneur, is dealing directly with marine litter and pollution to reduce that threat of the oceans by the Fisher Wardens themselves and through the citizens that could join this Litter Entrepreneur program. That actually, a couple of weeks ago, we had a hackathon in which we funded the four initiatives that they are tackling this issue of marine litter, proposing new ideas to also foster the blue economy in local societies. Okay, so the impacts and outcomes of the project will be to restore degraded ecosystems across the UEA basin, to cooperate between Atlantic and Arctic regions through the living labs and mega events as this one we are having. This is the second mega event of the PHAROS project. There will be a series of up to 5 mega events. We have the first one in January this year in Gran Canaria. It was very successful. This is very innovative and new to every one of us, so we are learning upon each other. And I think that if, along with the help of Rosary from ICOSA, also Julie and BMRS, they are doing a great job. There are big hopes for these coming 3 days. I see that we are even increasing the numbers of what we did in Gran Canaria. So yeah, there is a big expectative. Also, there is big expectative with the name Mega Event. It's not something humble. So that's pushing us, to do our best. So yeah, thank you, Eve. Thank you everyone for coming. We wish you to have a very productive days here, working together in this mega event, part of the IRIS Living Lab. Thank you.